I'm going to show you how to adjust your default settings in Google Docs. So to start off with, I just have some basic text so that we have something to format. In Google, the default text is Arial and the font size is 11. And if you like Arial font, that is fine. But if you want to change that or change the default size or spacing, I'm going to show you how to do that and how to save it so that every doc that you open from now on will open with those default settings. So to start with, if you've never used this before, this styles box next to your font, this will help organize your data. And it's best practice to use those instead of just changing the font size and bolding it and making it larger. If you actually apply these heading styles, notice over here on the left, it helps organize your document, especially for longer documents, and then it also helps with accessibility for any individuals who might be using screen readers to read your documents. So just some hints for accessibility purposes. The default settings for the heading 1 is also Arial and 20 point. And then notice it also has this default spacing above the heading. Personally, I don't like that because I like my first heading to be as close to the top margin as possible. So I'm going to change my default settings. I don't mind Arial, but I'm going to go ahead and change it. If you're changing your font, again, if you're sharing documents publicly with a lot of people, stick to sans serif fonts. They're easier for people to read. I like Montserrat. Some people don't because it's kind of spaced out, but I'm going to choose that one, and I'm going to choose the black bold version for my heading. 20 point size, I like that, so I'm going to leave it there. And then this is where you can change the spacings. So I'm going to go to Format, Line and Paragraph Spacing, remove the space before the paragraph. And now see how there's no spacing there? And now there's an automatic spacing below it. I like that, but I think I want that to be a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go, instead of 1.15 spacing, I'm going to do 1.5. And now I have 1.5 lines of spacing between my heading and the paragraph text. Once you have that the way that you like it, you're going to go up to Format, Paragraph Styles, select the category. So this was heading 1, and I'm going to update heading 1 to match. In order for your default settings to stay, you have to do this step, even if this is the only heading 1 that you have in the document. So I'm going to update. Now I'm going to update my paragraph text. So the default normal text. I'm going to change my font also, and I'm going to change it from 11 to 12. The minimum font size you should use on a document you're sharing with other people is 10. But I think that's a little small. So I'm going to go up to 12. And then I'm also going to tell it to always add a space at the end of a paragraph. And I'm going to do that for accessibility reasons as well. Every time you hit enter for spacing, a screen reader will read the word enter. So it's best practice to use these line paragraph spacing tools or to use a page break instead of just pushing enter to move text down. So I'm going to add a 1.5 space at the end of my paragraph. Oh, sorry, that wasn't at the end. That was just the spacing for the paragraph. And then I'm going to add a space after the paragraph. And so I don't have to hit enter. It'll just have this space, and then my next paragraph will start below it. Once again, once I have that the way I want it, I'm going to come up to Format, Normal Text, because that's my category, update normal text to match. Now I have normal text here and here on my document, so you're going to see all of these change because they're all under the normal text category. Okay, so now they're all in that Montserrat format. Oh, interesting. This part didn't, but this part did. So now I'm going to go ahead and change my heading 2. So I'm going to come up to my styles box and choose heading 2. And this is the default. It's in Montserrat because I already had the normal size changed. I think 16 is fine for my heading 2, but I want it to be bold. I can either click on this bold here, or if you remember, Montserrat had its own kind of bold choices. Whoops, so I'm going to do bold there. And then I'm also going to adjust my spacing. I'm going to remove the spacing before the paragraph, but I'm going to keep the spacing afterwards. And now I'm going to go down to heading 2, update heading 2 to match. I'm going to do the same thing for my heading 3 under styles. I'm going to pick heading 3. I'm going to choose my font. I'm going to change the size if I want to. And now I'm going to change my spacing. So it's already at 1.5. I'm going to remove the space before the paragraph, but I'm going to leave the space below it. And that's just my personal preference. And now I'm going to come back to paragraph styles. This is my heading 3, so that's my category type, and I'm going to update heading 3 to match. Here's what you need to do to save this as your default. You're going to come up, I'm going to select those. I'm going to come up to Format, Paragraph Styles, Options, Save as my default styles. And it will save the font, the size, and your spacing choices. Okay, so now when I come in here, say this is my topic 2, and I want that to be a heading 2. It's going to match the font and the size of my previous heading 2. Excuse me. And then notice over here on the side, that is how the outline format works with when you use headings. So now when I create a new document, my normal text is Montserrat size 12. And if I were to go to a heading 1, it's the Montserrat bold 20 point. All of my settings are saved.